in the top spot in the former Bladesmiths and Megumin Cult. As we get kicked off with game one, of course. I was advised by B-Shake to turn off my crowd noise because it's really annoying, and it threw us off in the last series. And you mentioned before, you don't know if it's more disturbing that there's no sound at all. This feels very strange.
It does. Maybe, it's like, to be honest with you, we shouldn't be that, unused to it. We've just come out of the COVID period where there hasn't been any audiences and any supporters whatsoever, just silence in the crowd. So you never know, but still, we are underway. Bladesmiths in blue, Megumin Cult in red. Kairu trying to set something up early, but rollback is going to be there once again. Dark Whiffs gives an opportunity for Anshu to finish it. However, he lands awkwardly, and subsequently rotations from Sato are going to be on point and take it away from him. Kairu looks to go himself instead of passing it down to Duck. Takes him to take himself instead of passing it down to Sato, and he has rotated back off Anshu's clearance. He's left with one boost, however, and subsequently he's unable to get back to the ball as Sato has come off the backboard. Robot Noodle gets a nice touch for demo onto Kairu as Anshu gets a touch off his own backboard. Sato backflips, unfortunately, but kind of actually throws off Anshu, and subsequently Kairu's going to come in and slot one in.
It's a great start for the Bladesmiths. Anshu did well to dribble this out. Robot maybe not positioned well enough, but it's actually a double commit that's the cause of this goal. Kairu happy to take that one off and underdunk, you could call it. And they open up the scoring just over a minute in. Megumin Cult obviously wanting to find their way back into this as soon as humanly possible. Kairu playing the mind game there, does well to get it past the first, but Anshu cuts him out with the mid. Robot Noodles allowed an aerial play here, then Con gets demoed out, so there's very little follow-up for Megumin Cult. Anshu was there, but he's got very little boost to work with. Duck trying to keep it out of the corner, keep it away from Megumin Cult's offense, but it's still in there. Robot does win the 50, but Sato with plenty of time and space to do what he wants. They're being patient on defense here, Bladesmiths, and I'm considering, I'm not entirely sure whether or not that's going to be punishing in this series based on how Megumin play. We know how Bladesmiths play Duck, one of the highest saving stats in the entire elite tier, 84 I believe it is, before this series began. So crucial to their defense, as is Sato, who's got like 73% goal participation, which is absolutely nuts.
It's fairly mad when you have stats like that on your side, and it's sitting pretty at number one spot. You can definitely see why, looking at them. Duck, though, with the aggression here, puts it over to the opposite side where Sato's waiting. Con's going to take it off the backboard to try and find that clearance. Eventually, Kairu's touch can be taken away by rollback as Con tries to put the shot on. Not the best of saves coming out. And subsequently, rollback's going to be there to put it into the back of the net. And Duck waiting on the backboard. He's got good saves, but his positioning touch there was shocking. And he's going to be punished for it every single day of the week. Rollback Noodles is going to put that one in and tie the game up one apiece just after halfway.
To be fair, he had that one rifled at him, Duck. There's very little it could do, just could bounce off of his car. And Rollback, the self-proclaimed carried C3, needed no help there. To finish that one off, needed a little bit of help with Anshu alongside him to do that one. Con with low boost can only pop it to Sato with a free clear. Gives them a little bit of space to work with. The 2-minute mark approaches and Rollback keeps away the encroaching Bladesmiths offense. Another weak touch by Duck, but gets the dunk and then tries to go for the follow-up as well. Anshu was just ready enough to keep that out. A follow-up from Sato, maybe the double tap. It doesn't matter. Kairu's there to the backboard. And their shooting has looked a little bit woeful in the last minute or so. Bladesmiths, I mean, they've literally had one shot. And so they haven't been able to get anything near to the target to even register. It's Con to the corner. Loses out on the ball. Every time I look at him, every time the director cam swings over to him, looks like he's on low boost. Might be trouble for them as Sato low boost here as well. The disruption was coming through. But they're not able to finish it off. Back and forth game in these final moments. I'll have to see which side can take it or if we'll find ourselves in another overtime. Looking at the same way that that first series went. Oh my goodness.
Anshu, what a
between Zoo and Haven, but amazing save from Anshu. Keeps this one close.
A really great save coming out from them. Anshu now trying to send it back down to the opposite end of the field. Sato's going to be there for the catch just to keep his teammate in position. Unfortunately, Dark with the whiff is going to force a little bit of a setback. Sato gets a lovely flick. As Duck gets the demo, gets a bump even. Kairu not able to get the touch as that was flicked on it back into the Bladesmiths half. And she now caught in the corner. Kairu's going to find the clearance and take it up the sidewall. No rollback is there to meet him. And good play come from Megumin Cult, keeping out this #1 seed right now. His Duck does a very good job of just mitigating any sort of pressure from the Megumin Cult side, as he's doing a fantastic job of slowing down the offense. Sato now on the backboard, puts the clearance away, looking for his teammate Duck, but rollback is found instead. As Duck actually goes up for the challenge onto Anshu. A great dunk on by Little Con, looking for Anshu to find the flick on. A bit of a double commit coming out from Sato and Duck, but Sato eventually finding that clearance, and rollback has to jump and put it off his own backboard. Kairu is there, looks for the pass in the center. Duck's going to be a little bit overzealous, and we're going to find ourselves in an overtime.
I'm looking at this. You wouldn't be told that you were silly for thinking, or that you were confused that this wasn't a 1 versus 7 matchup. Matching each other punch for punch. Of course, there hasn't been all that much offense, at the very least effective offense. Ansu has been in the way, but he gets this one to the ceiling, and Sato will increase his goal participation with a great finish here. Reads the touch from Ansu. It's a little unfortunate, to be honest, left in that position. Couldn't quite get it to either corner. And it's a simple finish for Bladesmiths, basically straight off kickoff, very short overtime. And it's so jarring not hearing anything, no cheers, nothing. Just the silence of both players, both teams, all 6 players on the field. But Bladesmiths continue their domination at the top now, 2 games clear in first position. Megumin Cult, well, I think they'll be feeling hard done by there. They had a lot of decent time on offense. I said there wasn't much effective offense, but I felt like they had more of it, at least in that first game. They just couldn't quite find the finishing that they needed. This could have easily ended the other way, but going on to the second game now, I think they've got a little bit more left.
I think so indeed. And, you know, something we glossed over a little bit, and I'm just looking at the chat between the players. Anshu's save, where he got recovered after getting bumped into his net, really was quite something, and he really was that player on defense who stepped it up for Megumin Cult, and subsequently, you know, kept them in that game. But Bladesmiths, at the end of the day, being that #1 seed, were able to battle through and find that opening, regardless of whether it was a bit of a misfortunate touch coming out from one of the Megumin Cult players. But we are going to go into this game #2. It's 1-0 in favour of Bladesmith. Megumin Cult, though, looking to make a bit of a run here, as they are still 1 place away in the standings to make it into playoffs. So they've got to pull back some wins here. As Con with an early shot to start this game, but it's taken away by Duck, the man with a huge amount of saves.
They're going to need at least 3 games, and if they're to reach that 6th spot, to tie up with that 6th spot. And this is the start. Ansu was an amazing defender in the last game, but this one absolutely slaughtered top left bins. There's a bit of a fake out on the mid as well to allow that to go through. 15 seconds, well, technically 17 seconds, but we'll keep it a secret between you and me. 15 seconds is pretty much even to find their first goal, quicker than Bladesmiths managed to get their first. See if they can do it again. Sat out through the mid, trying to play some dribbles here. I was thinking about that for Bladesmiths defense, that they were so patient and considered. At times I thought it was negative that they weren't getting out quicker. Maybe they were trying to set up the counter, draw out that first man so they got more space to work with. But Megumin Cult seemed to not overcommit, to read that play and actually do well at keeping them pinned in at times. But their touches have been wayward as well, so they've struggled to keep possession. I think that's what's hurting them most.
I completely agree with you. It's good patience, but how patient can you be without being punished? The double P's, but Duck is going up to the air. Sato's with him, looking for the passing play. Unable to complete it as Duck gets a lovely bump onto Anshu and sets up Con. Duck with the presence of mind to keep that attack alive. You can see the passing play didn't work, but he was able to wrap back around and take Anshu out of the game. Send him to the moon. The guy shouting in the crowd, he can have Anshu's car, because that goal was going straight in by Con. That's 1 apiece now between these 2 sides. It could be, you know, very reminiscent of game #1. Have to see if Bladesmiths was able to keep up their record as Kairu trying to do something nasty, unable to complete that. And they're still 1 apiece. Good stabilization from Megumin Cult after that initial attack from the kickoff, but it is still trapped in the red half. Can Megumin Cult break out The side of Bladesmiths starting to sharpen their knives ever so slightly.
Simple solution to stop your opponent saving your shots. Get rid of them. Send them into the crowd, into the stands, as you said. And that's how you can beat out a defense. It's only worked once, and a little bit of space for Con to work with. He's trying to get it to the teammate, but it doesn't matter. He went for the 50 and actually faked out one of the defenders. It's a great finish by Robot Noodles here. Patient. And he understood that the ball was about to come through. It might have gone in if Cairo couldn't get a touch on that one. But it sneaks bottom right. And before the second minute dawns upon us, Megumin Cult find themselves in the lead here. 2-1 up. Happy to hold on to this if they can, but Bladesmith's offense is always dangerous. Duck here trying to find something off the ceiling, but a big miss by Ansu. Used to him being consistent there and reliable, but Robak had to save his team's skin as Sato. A little bit of time to work with, maybe try and pinch this through. Doesn't get the 50 he wants, but Cairo is up. Beats out the defensive clear. A little bit of time left for Lil Con here to find this way through. That's surprising. I'd have thought that Bladesmiths might dive on that one. But they seem to be as patient on defense, on offense as they are in defense. As Duck finds himself with the ball here as a teammate, but just trying to fake out rollback, play the mind games, and it almost worked. But they can't quite find their way through.
Unfortunate for Duck, but well read by Rollback, who just bought himself enough time to recover and get that save. And she now plays it off the backboard. Co's going to beat him to it and just knock it forward. The rotation's very clean coming out from Megumin Cult. Sato's there, puts a pass across, a bit of whiff coming out from Con. Fortunately for him, his teammate was behind to take that away. Ooh. A great attempt coming out from Duck, and Kairi gets the demo onto Con. Kairi with the redirect! You dirty man! As that happens, roll back, puts off the backboard. Sato identifying the space, and Kairi with a beautiful touch to put it into the top bins. And he took the trash out there, put the equalizer on the board. 1:52 seconds left, and it's 2 apiece.
That finish had the unique modifier of both being beautiful and disgusting. It's a great finish to equalize. They were looking for something like that, a catalyst to awaken their offense and make Megumin sweat, especially Ansu. He's not been as strong in this game as he was in the first. Robak has had to cover him a couple times now. But I'm looking to Con mainly. Some of the stuff I've seen him be able to do is mesmerizing. Some big fakes here. Allowed Robak a chance. Ansu beats out one to get it through, but Duck just about keeps it away. An open midfield allows Robak Noodles to fire this. I'm not sure what Duck was thinking, but it was not the right play. Think again.
Miscommunication between Cairo and Duck. As I think Cairo thought Duck was going to go, and Duck thought Cairo was going to go. And that's really going to be punishing the side of Bladesmiths, Megumin Cult, forming around them, getting that goal. Rollback with a great understanding, great read of the game to execute on that and cut that midfielder. Duck's looking to send it back down to the other end of the things. Con with a great touch, looking to pass it back to Anshu, but slightly overread by Anshu. And subsequently, Con's going to have to take it himself. Up he goes. This is where he's dangerous. Unable to take anything with it, but I completely agree. He's been rather quiet, Con has, and we know how good he is in the air. I'm definitely looking for him to do something more with it, but a great finish coming out from Anshu. I didn't even see that coming.
Neither did I. I was all the way back here getting demoed. The director wanted me to see that, not this, but a fantastic finish posting in as well. So pretty much unsavable if someone was on the back post, but no one was. A 2-goal lead in this final minute. It's huge for Megumin to start their run here. To kick off goal potentially, but it's just about stop, drop down too low maybe. And rollback is demoed. Con diving on the first man, trying to clear it out. A lot of space given as well. Ansu just to the backboard. Cairo ready for it. Trying to find Duck maybe, but the double tap comes through. Duck does get it, and Cairo's there. 30 seconds. Will be plenty of time to get a third goal, but they can't quite do it as Ansu is there. Stepped up once again. Only 2 saves to his name this time around, but was plenty, and 2 goals on the other side is more than enough to help his team succeed in this second game and probably take it. Don't want to jinx it, but 10 seconds is tough to do for any team. But Bladesmiths, I don't think will be able to.
I don't think so, unless this one does drop in. Connor has to rush back, and he is able to do so. And Megumin Cult answering back after game number 1. 4-2 win here, tying the series up 1 apiece. And I don't know how you mentioned that this Bladesmiths side won't underestimate Megumin Cult like you did over Haven, but it's looking mightily close, and I don't think it's underestimating Bladesmiths underestimating them. I think Megumin Cult, they're just having a great game. They're showing exactly the weaknesses of Bladesmiths, which are Bladesmiths' overzealous patience, which I don't think is really a word. It's a bit of really a sentence. It's a bit of a conundrum, but that's exactly what it is. They're being too patient and too confident in their defense, and they're being punished for it because Megumin Cult, they're just not diving in and they're not falling for it.
Yeah, I understood what you meant, even if you didn't, Hop. They were just there's taking too much time. There's a difference between patience and just not pressing the opportunity when it comes. Of course, it can be useful to not rush things and to assume that your opponent is going to dive upon you, is going to chase as much as possible to try and get the ball back, to try and force you to make errors. And the Megumin Cult immediately clocked onto that. They were just like, okay, we'll just send one person, try and win out on the 50, keep the second man in place for any kickouts, and be ready for that. And they were 4 times more, two times more than Bladesmiths. But yeah, as you said, I don't think it was underestimation. There were a few things in the team chat where I think Sato was saying that, why can't I just hit the ball? The inconsistency maybe coming through for them is something that can happen to any player. Although I do see it a lot in the elite tier where they kind of get into their own heads about their play. And they worry that they're not playing good enough, and then that makes them play even worse at times. So they try and put too much pressure on themselves, and that coupled with the pressure being leveled at them by Megumin Cult might be just too much. But still a fantastic team, top of the table for a reason, as tenuous as that position is. And it gets even more tough here as Con slots this right in the bottom of the net. Great 50 win by Rollback. Just look at the space. This is the patience that we were talking about. Bladesmiths never seem to be ready for those big kickouts into the mid.
Kind of scary to see this. And I find this tier to be one of the most exciting and unpredictable tiers throughout
Sato!
And
I've actually lost my voice. I'm choking on something, because what I'm choking on is disbelief.
That's gorgeous.
This is what's happening.
That is how you respond to. I mean, people might have been asking question marks about them in that last game. Sato himself will have been asking, "What are you doing? Why are you not finishing your chances?" Just as Ansu does here. Duck had nothing to do with this. Was getting completely bumped out. Can't blame him for that one, and jumps up to try and read it. Ansu stole that. What? That was Rollback's finish. What just happened? He didn't even touch that ball. Come on.
I don't even know. That's thievery, daylight robbery. It's crazy though. Bladesmiths, Sato scoring that incredible goal. They're immediately scored back on, and maybe they had a look at themselves saying played too slow on defense. But they've been punished. As Ansu tries to find a ridiculous angle. Con is back there again. Rollback came out for the follow. Sato is too quick to it, and Sato looking to go again. Instead leaves it for Duck, who knocks it forward. Who goes for the early shot as well. Double commit. Karu's up. Can he find the finish? Yes, he can. Is Karu brings one back for the Bladesmiths to tie it up. This is the most goals scored. We've only just crossed a minute line. We're already 4 goals in. Every other game we've seen this evening,
I think bar one by Zhu,
has been incredibly close. Bladesmiths and Megumin Cult looking to just trade blows here. It's going to be a bloody match, this game number 3.
Well, it was 4-2 in the last, so could argue that was one of the highest scoring ones, but mostly in the favour of Megumin. This one stayed as tight and compact as you like. Con with plenty of time trying to fake out there, maybe. Didn't quite work in their favour. Ansu with a big pinch, almost ends up in the net. Con to follow it up. Somehow keeping hold of the ball. Miscommunication meant that flew over. But Rollback Noodles takes a shot. It was crossbar down. I don't know if that was going in, but it doesn't matter. Duck found his second save.
That was a ridiculous save, because if that was on target, Duck has some 200 IQ reads going on.
What a save coming out from him, but it's still 2 apiece.
Duck and Sato looking to press here. Duck gets the demo onto Rollback, forcing Con and Ansu to have to return and rotate. But unfortunately, Sato unable to keep control of that ball, and subsequently it's going to kill that counter-attack as Rollback looking to open up some space of his own. Able to do so. He does get bumped out, and subsequently Kyrie now with a lot of pressure. It does have a teammate in support, and that is Duck.
Clever
Just tries to
control.
take control. And what a flip.
Oh.
Duck with that beautiful touch. Silky smooth, feather light.
And that completely threw off Con and Rollback, who I think were left in a bit of stun.
Not realizing you could take control of the ball so elegantly. And subsequently, it's a 3-2 lead. It's the first lead in this game, number 3, that the side of Bladesmiths had. As Duck looking to make it a 4th. Oh, dear. Duck. This man's crackers, honestly.
That 50, though, from Cairo.
I know.
How big that is. It's an amazing enough read from Duck, but the fact that you lose a kickoff that badly, we're already at the game result of the last one, or the score result of the last game. Not even halfway through this one. This could be a cricket score by the end of it. Cairo going up to put it down and does not quite find the angle. Looking for another filthy double tap, but he didn't quite find it. Big counter for Megumin Cult. Rollback is there, reads the ball much better than Duck, and now it's 4-3 to still in Bladesmith's favour. An amazing touch on the front bumper there from Con to take it high, and difficult enough for the defense to not be able to keep that away. But this is just nonsense. Constant back and forth, hitting each other like there's absolutely no hands up. And I don't know what this score is going to end up, but it's going to be absolutely ridiculous. It's going to make the goal differences so much more wacky. I don't know what's going on. That one could have snuck in as well. Dunk 50 from Ansu. They don't quite find it. Look, it just seems in the favour of Bladesmiths right now.
It really does. You have to feel for the side of Megumin Cult, but Rollback looking to change that and try to find the pass. Teammate not close enough to do so as Anshu cuts it out in the midfield. Sato is trying to send it forward, met by Rollback, who actually sends it the wrong way. Bit dangerous as Sato puts the cross in. Kairu is there, shot on, and what a finish! Gummy out from Kairu. This is the Bladesmiths we know and love. Because when they score, when they score, it's not, they're always beautiful goals. Whenever they score, it's always flashy. It's always something special. So exactly what we're seeing there. Kairu with the 5th goal in the name of Bladesmiths this game. 5-3 the scoreline stands as Rollback looking to make it 5-4. Can't find the double tap as Sato was on the backboard just waiting patiently. Lil Con even there trying to keep the attack going, but Duck going to take that away from him, take that position away as Anshu puts it back across the field. Con is there, tries to find the challenge, unable to do so as Rollback knocks it back to Con, who plays it off the ceiling. Kairu with the demo onto Anshu, who's going to slow the attacker down momentarily. We're going to have Duck back down, puts the shot on, a bit of a bumps in that corner, almost made it dangerous. Fortunately, Anshu able to recover in time, and Con's going to send it right back down into the Bladesmith half. Good defense from Duck. Momentary, Rollback is there. Con trying to flick it on. Unable to do so. It's a bit of a stalemate, but both sides prying at each other's doors.
And I'm sure Bladesmiths have had plenty of garbage goals in their time, but none of them making an appearance here as Cairo looks for his hat-trick, will be denied by Rollback. Another to the mid. Sato gets faked out here, and Ansu strikes at a wide open net, finds his brace, and brings them back into this 3rd game. Will be a huge one to win. Prove to Bladesmiths you are not safe at the top of the table. We've got plenty left in our tank to show you what we're capable of. Sato there in the team chat. I'm just a paid actor. That's what he thinks of himself. He's been phenomenal in this game, and obviously he's not outshone his teammates and Duck and Cairo based on the stats. But slight mistake there doesn't a player make necessarily. Everybody makes mistakes. It's just about making the fewer of them. This one through the midfield. Ansu does well to 50 this, but Sato's already up the field, ready to catch the ball. Does well. Looked like an almost exquisite finish, but Con cut it out. Duck back to the mid. Sato with good rotation is there, looking for the teammate, but just popping it a little bit high. Still plenty of time, and is the next person to touch that ball. Con looking for the counters. 10 seconds left. They have to get one on this final drive. Sato slows it down, and then Ansu misses the ball. Allows Cairo to take it past Rollback, but no. Gets beaten, drops down. Ansu cannot quite take it under his spell. This could have very easily gone to overtime, but Bladesmiths, the quality just outshone Megumin here, and you can't take it away from them. There were some absolutely fantastic finishes.
It really was. I mean, you have to cast your mind back. The first goal of this game was Sato's ridiculous flip reset.
Yeah.
I mean, what more do you have to say? 9 goals, 1 game. Brilliant performance from both of these teams. 9 shots coming out from Bladesmiths to the 9 of Megumin Cult. Bladesmiths just a bit more clinical when it comes to those finishes. And once again, it's the same amount of saves, 4 apiece on each side. The real difference maker was, as I said, Bladesmith's ability to finish and being a bit more clinical on the offense. And I mean, with the players on this side, you really can expect that offense to be absolutely pinpoint. Sato, Cairo being 2 unbelievable finishes, but Doug, as we've seen, he can do it himself as well. He's not just a glorified defender; he is really something else. But Megumin Cult, they kept it close. They've taken a game. They kept game number 2 off this Bladesmiths side. They're now in a position to force that tie, which is going to be huge in terms of the standings, and a couple of wins here against the Bladesmiths side will actually bolster them into a better position to potentially go into play-ins and playoffs. But this game, as we're saying, I think we're going to repeat this a lot as the weeks commence. Each game has so much weight upon it, and this one more than any.
And more so as the season comes to its conclusion. Same amount of shots, same amount of saves in that last game. As you said, just that one little tiny sliver of clinicism. That's not a word. That clinical nature from Bladesmiths. Managing to finish off one more. It could have been that one from Sato to do it. Whoever scored the final goal was, of course, the difference maker in that one. But maybe they've got it all out of their systems now, and this is the game that comes down to a nail-biter, 1-1 overtime or something like that. Unless they wanted to play it all out, get the energy to use all the rest of the energy that they have as Con, so as to find this one through, not able to do so. But in this, because Bladesmiths, I think one of the bigger differences in that last game wasn't necessarily that the defense was less passive, it was just the midfield rotation. They cut so much more, which led to them being scored upon so much more as well. But it gave them that basis, it gave them the foundation to go out, cut on offense, which is where they're comfortable, where they're clearly better at the game, especially in the air. So I think if they continue to do that, and Megumin Cult don't sit back like a lower line and then break out on the counter, then we could see another win in the favour of Bladesmiths. But just as quite a few games in this series, it could have gone very much either way.
Really could have. Anshu struggling ever since that game number 2, I think. He was whiffing the ball there, but Sato looking dangerous as always, takes it up to the air. Kairu's going to follow it up as Sato gets a demo, but a bump even in the back line. You can see Kairu in position to find the double tap, but it was taken away by the Megumin Cult team. As Doug tries to go out, actually whiffs the ball. But decides to just pop it instead of going for the catch, and that's actually going to give the clearance back over to the side of Bladesmiths, who are poised and ready to put the counter-attack back on. Satu cuts the midfield, keeps the attack alive momentarily, but Anshu's having none of it. As Duck, actually not the best of touches, opens the door for Megumin Cult, as Con's going to be there, puts the shot on, Satu with the save, keeps them out for 3 minutes now. By now we'd had 4 goals. A bit closer here, and anything can really happen between these two sides. Megumin Cult looking like a very good force, a force that needs to be kept an eye on as the last weeks trickle away. As we spoke about before this series, Megumin Cult on a bit of a hot streak right now, keeping their wins up and their losses down. And this may well could be a draw that sets them up in the trajectory to propel them into that playoffs position. This Cairo is caught out in the midfield. Rollback is going to play towards the backboard. Taito is there, but unbelievable dunk, double tap read. What a play! He read Sato's touch to perfection. Who needs a backboard but could just play it off Sato?
Oh, that's unfortunate for Sato. He'll feel the pain of that one. And I was about to say that every single shot had been met with a save in this final game until that one came through, and the shot actually ended up going through. It had to be something relatively special, high up in the corner, the arch of the ceiling. Not just something simple, as neither is Sato looking for one here, not quite enough boost to find it. Duck with a air bump, but Cairo didn't commit. It means they lose out on the opportunity. Ansu just about gets some boost. Took it out by Cairo with a decent enough 50. Rollback has plenty of boost to get back to this one. Thankfully stopping Sato. A team bump, I believe, there between Cairo and Duck. Leaves space for Ansu. Gets it over one. Looking for the double tap. Can he do it? No. Cairo will be just in the way. And you said it about Bladesmiths that almost all of their goals look like they're coming from the top draw, that they never have anything that's just so simple, like a slow roller coming from a bad mistake. As Con with a great shot here to finish it off. But it feels like both sides are going for clips.
It does really look like it. And she does find a huge amount of space and plays it off. Sato Kon positioned perfectly. You could see that was marginally away from Kairu sending that off a target. But eventually that 2-goal lead is going to be in favour of Megumin Cult in this matchup. We'll have to see whether Bladesmiths has got anything left in the tank, because it's 1:25 and ticking. It's doable. It's 2 goals. But the way that Megumin Cult are playing, they're really mitigating everything Bladesmiths throws at them. As he said so many times, you wouldn't guess this to be a 1st versus 7th matchup. As decided Megumin Cult having absolute blinder of a series so far. His rollback gets a lovely catch. Sato puts a beautiful shot on, and eventually the cluster, which was Megumin Cult's defense in between that, is going to allow Duck to come flying in for the shot. Kon and Shu just caught out in bad positions. And Duck's going to put one back into the board. And just as I'm talking, it's back to only a 1-goal lead. So fragile for Megumin Cult. Have Bladesmiths got anything left in them to actually bring it back to 2 goals? Sato, has he got an answer? Kon is up, but Sato misreading it momentarily. Kairu, though, finds the angle. And sometimes I just need to not call it. I just need to not say anything. It's back to a
2-apiece game.
We don't have time to break down the last goal, never mind the next one coming in. I was going to say that it all came from Sato, as this one did. He just delayed the initial shot, and that's what threw off Kon and Ansu. They weren't quite ready for the next one, and they weren't ready for this either. But that wasn't an easy finish for Kairu. It was a tough angle as the ball was bouncing down, so props to him for finishing that one off and giving Bladesmiths the chance to take this series. 3-1 will be huge, especially from their estimation. It'd be just as big for Megumin Cult to get a draw. Of course, they needed at least 3 to match with their 6th placed opponents. They won't quite be able to do that this time around. Maybe next week, boys. But right now, you've got to try and finish off this one. Close it out. Clutch up. Ansu attempts to do so here. A little bit of boost to work with, but can't get to the ball. Kon beaten out once again by Sato. He's got a lot of boost. Maybe wastes it there, but still has possession of the ball. Never mind. Rollback is there. Duck wasn't expecting it, and an open midfield gives him a chance. Rollback gets the dribble around. Duck can't get it either. He was demoed out of the play. He didn't even exist, and he could still finish this off.
This was so marginally close to Duck get to. Oh my word. He tried everything he possibly could. At the end of the day, he wasn't strong enough to be, but 4 seconds.
Kick-off goal.
Has to be a kick-off goal. They're trying to go for something. They've set up Sato, who's not going to be able to get back to it. And this is Megumin Cult's game to take. It's a 2-piece. Another 2-2 with the 1st place team.
Everyone in high school doubted me. Woke up to a text, said they're proud of me. Everyone in high school doubted me. Woke up to a track, now they proud of me. Everyone in high school doubted me. Woke up to a text, say they're proud of me. Woke up to a text,